Hi there. In this presentation we want to go over some tips to help you get the most out of this online course and to make sure that you get the best possible experience. And our first tip to be a successful online student is to treat it like it's a full-time job. Our courses can be quite demanding as there are lots of exercises and content to get through and process. Most modules will take between 8 to 16 hours a week, and in some cases even longer. So you really need to get focused and set appropriate expectations of what you will need to do. Our next tip is to pace your study. One of the biggest mistakes you can make when studying online is to cram everything together at the last moment. In most of our courses, we release new content every week, but we see people who don't log in or study for the first 4 or 5 days of the week, and then they try to cram everything into the last few days. The problem is that there's a huge amount of empirical evidence which shows that this is a disaster for long-term memory and really hurts your learning. Seriously, if you want to get the best results with the least effort, you need to pace your learning out over the week. Try to dedicate 2 to 3 hours a day every day of the week. So your next step is to go ahead and get a calendar app like Google Calendar and block out 2 to 3 hours a day, and make sure to set up a reminder to help keep you on track. Our next tip, tune out distractions. Now, distractions are a serious threat to your learning experience. And while a few minutes here and there watching a clip on YouTube of your favorite cat might not seem like much, over time, stuff like this, along with checking out your friend's activity on Facebook or watching something on TV, it can all really add up. So make sure you're someplace where you're not going to be disturbed. Get some heavy duty headphones so that all you can hear is the voice of your instructor, and something that will block everything, including the sound of your phone ringing. Speaking of which, turn off your cell phone and lock it in the drawer. Shut off any apps that might distract you, for example iTunes, WhatsApp, Skype or anything like that. Nothing should get in the way of you and your learning. Our next tip, take notes. This is a crucial part of the learning process and absorption of newly found knowledge. There is a huge amount of experimental evidence that shows that the average person forgets 40% of what they learn within 20 minutes. However, this natural memory decay can be prevented by taking notes followed by a daily and weekly reinforcement. After the lecture, review your notes and highlight areas that need clarification and questions. So, go ahead and create your own Word doc, blog or wiki on what you're learning, as writing about what you're learning will solidify its place in your mind. In addition, our courses have a lot of video content, so try watching them once to get an overview of the content, then watch them again the following day, but this time take notes. Our next tip, participate in discussions. Now, group discussions are a superb way to help process rather than just receive information, as it'll force you to think through and organize your thoughts, and that will seriously help your retention and understanding of the material. On top of that, you get exposed to other people's ideas and attitudes, many of which can be radically different from your own, and that in itself can be great for your learning. So, go ahead, post your questions and thoughts in whatever discussion board or forum that's provided, and be active in both answering and asking questions. Our next tip is to make your own homework. Now, in many subjects, the best way to learn is by doing. And for those who are learning a hard skill, often you're watching an instructor create something via video. So if possible, try to make sure you're working on the version in tandem with the instructor. So go ahead, make your own exercise or projects. Don't just limit yourself to those that are supplied within the course materials. Our next tip, save your work and make a portfolio. Building up a portfolio of work and saving it online, where a prospective employer can look, is a real game changer. As you work through the courses, you're going to have to complete lots of real-world projects, and this can really go a long way towards providing you with mastery of a subject. So be sure to save these projects and start building up an online portfolio where you can showcase your expertise to prospective employers. And our last tip is mash it up. Although getting all of your information from one source can be sufficient when it comes to most courses, you'll be more likely to succeed if you can draw from multiple sources. So, additional readings and secondary learning sources can really help you familiarise yourself with the subject matter and process opposing views, which will enrich your overall knowledge of the subject and really help you stand out from the crowd. So, go ahead and start Googling additional sources of material and don't just limit yourself to what you find on the course.